Number 10. Red Queen. This is an alternate version of Psylocke from Earth 811, the alternate universe belonging to Days of Future Past. In this reality, Psylocke became one of the baddies, and boy, does bad look good on her. Psylocke ended up joining the Hellfire Club and becoming their Red Queen. She has dark painted nails, a sick cape, and some really awesome thigh-high boots that look like they might be built into her costume. I am a sucker for really nice thigh-high boots. She wears a metal bikini over a seemingly sheer red bodysuit. She also appears to wear war paint or have gotten an epic red face tattoo, one or the other. Wolverine ends up defeating this version of Psylocke and handing her over to her brother, Brian Braddock, aka Captain Britain, in hopes that he can help to redeem her. Number 9. Flashpoint Zatanna. This version of Zatanna Zatara comes to us from the Flashpoint universe. In this reality, Zatanna looks like a hardcore biker chick. She has an arm sleeve tattoo and sports some very low-rise leather pants, and wears a leather vest over what appears to be a leather bikini top. Her hair is shorter, her nails are painted dark, and she wears a black choker. She also drives a motorcycle. Sadly, as badass as she looks in this reality, she still ends up defeated and dead after a fight with Enchantress. Number 8. Black Cat Clone. Most video games featuring Black Cat do not disappoint when it comes to highlighting just how seductive Black Cat is, and the clone version of Felicia from the game Spider-Man: Edge of Time is no exception. This version of Felicia is a clone created by Alchemax using the combined DNA of a few different people and creatures, including Felicia herself, cats, Tigra, and the Vanisher. This made Felicia even more powerful, which really only added to her allure as a character. This clone's version had improved fighting skills and could also teleport. And as always, she also has tons of great sexy lines in the game. Peter even admits that this version of Black Cat is better than the original, in his personal opinion. Number 7. Flashpoint Starfire. Not everyone may love the idea of Starfire being a villain, but you can't deny that being bad looks good on Starfire. In the Flashpoint timeline, Kory joined Wonder Woman's army as one of her female Furies. This version of Starfire features a similar look to her main timeline counterpart. She is one of those weird 90s looking face and hair pieces that I love so much. I don't know why I love them, because I feel like in reality they would really look terrible on people. She is also covered in a costume that defies logic, featuring just swirls of purple flame to cover her. And she is also wearing some seriously amazing thigh-high boots. In this reality, her and Dick Grayson end up against one another, and a trap that he lays results in her death. Number 6. Old Lady Frost. In the Old Man Logan universe, Emma Frost makes an appearance looking like she hasn't aged a day. This is of course due to her telepathic abilities, which allow her to appear youthful and stunning in others' minds, even in her old age. The idea of eternal youth and beauty while also continuously getting wiser and smarter is not only super Emma Frost, but also just, I think, appealing to most people. And you might be wondering, what happens though when Emma is faced with a mind that she possibly can't manipulate with her powers? In the Old Man Logan universe, that will actually likely never happen, due to the fact that Emma Frost in this reality is known as being the most powerful telepath remaining on Earth. Number 5. Mangaverse Black Cat. So I know that Black Cat isn't exactly a superhero all the time, and is more like DC's Catwoman, in the sense that she walks a fine line most days between being good and being bad. But if we are talking hottest female alternates, then she needs to get mentioned, because she has some of the hottest female alternates. Black Cat also does tend to walk the road of being a hero more often than a villain as well, I would argue. Her Mangaverse version is by far one of the hottest, just based on her costume alone. This version of Felicia from Mangaverse's Earth 2301 also seems to genuinely care more about Mary Jane than her 616 counterpart. She expressed concern for MJ's well-being, despite also competing with her for Peter's affection. Still, this reality almost implies more of a love triangle between the three of them than a straight competition for who gets Spider-Man.
Number 10. Big Barda. From a young age, Big Barda was trained to become a warrior. Not just any warrior either. Barda became the leader of the Female Furies, Darkseid's personal guard. Although she was originally working for the Darkseid in the comics, get it? Darkseid. She later turned things around and ended up joining the Justice League International, as well as Oracle/Batwoman's Birds of Prey. In fact, she was probably the strongest physically on the Birds of Prey team. Belonging to the New Gods race also gives her a slew of abilities, including invulnerability, super sight, super stamina, immortality, super strength, and energy manipulation, among others. Number 9. X-23. If you thought Wolverine was strong, wait till you meet his daughter / clone. More animalistic than Wolverine, X-23 was created in a lab. She is tough as nails and a survivalist above all else. Beyond the comics, we also got to see a badass live-action version of X-23 on the silver screen in Logan. Especially when playing against the much older version of Wolverine, she looks even more insanely strong. Her healing factor is speedier and she never flinches at a fight, even when faced with dangerous odds. Number 8. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. Introduced to the MCU, Carol Danvers was set up to be the strongest Avenger yet, and while this is debatable, one cannot deny the strength of Captain Marvel, formerly known in the comics as Miss Marvel. Carol has flight capabilities, super strength, can fire photonic blasts, and comes with a no-nonsense attitude. I would even argue she is presented as having a more militaristic mindset than Cap at times. In the past few years, the comics have uplifted her character, promoting her from Miss to Captain, and allowing her to earn that title, easily defeating one of her arch nemesis, Jan Rog, after being reintroduced. A man who she has struggled to defeat in the past and has tortured her for most of her life. Oh yeah, and she manages to do it with a tumor rapidly growing inside her brain. Wow.
I've been fighting with one arm tied behind my back. But what happens when I'm finally set free?
Number 7. She-Hulk. Not only is She-Hulk, cousin of Bruce Banner, strong, but she is brave and intelligent. Jennifer Walters was not the most confident person until she got caught in the crossfire of some bullets that were meant for Bruce and had to receive an emergency blood transfusion from him. His blood coursing through her veins, Jennifer underwent a transformation and became the bold and confident She-Hulk. Although she only received a portion of the strength that the Hulk has, she has a uniqueness to her that none of the other Hulks have. Her strength never leaves her, it carries over. It's consistent. Not only this, but Jennifer has an emotional influence over the Hulk, often being called in to calm down the Hulk when he is too riled up to calm himself down. Number 6. Zatanna. If the powers of magic are limitless, then so must be this superhero's strength level. Zatanna may not be the most buff of the ladies on this list, but she is definitely one of the strongest when it comes to ability. Not only is she a skilled stage magician, but also a skilled real-world magician, coming from a long, strong bloodline of magics. Her powers are on another level. She can travel through dimensions, is a skilled hypnotist, can transmute atoms, teleport, and has telepathic abilities. She's one of Batman's oldest friends and often helps out the Justice League. In fact, she was even once referred to as the strongest member of the Justice League. You could argue that she is just as strong, if not stronger, than Marvel's Doctor Strange. Many fans would like to imagine that Zatanna herself would make an even better Sorcerer Supreme. Number 5. Emma Frost. Speaking on telepathic abilities, Emma Frost is one strong telepath that also comes to mind. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a strong telepath, and I think it is one of the strongest superpowers around. Emma Frost has even used her abilities to cure mutants of their lack of control over their powers, famously helping Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, to control his optic blasts. And telepathic powers aside, she is also one of the actual strongest superheroes in the sense that she can turn herself into Diamond, known for being a super tough substance and able to withstand tons of pressure. So she is not only mentally strong, but physically strong as well.
Shoot on sight!
Number 4. Jean Grey. Of course, when Jean Grey is alive and well, wait, how many times has she died now? And how many times has she been resurrected? Anyways, when Jean is alive and well, she's an even stronger telepath than Emma Frost. And when teamed up with the Phoenix Force, she's even stronger and more deadly. Although she is not physically strong, Jean is also super skilled at telekinesis. And who needs super strength when you can lift almost anything with your mind? Jean could use that trick to make herself look insanely strong. Many have compared her to Charles Xavier, and many have argued that Jean is stronger, though she does sometimes struggle to access and control her full potential, which is perhaps where Professor X surpasses her. If you follow the X-Men films, they would even have us believe that Jean can defeat Apocalypse, simply by shouting. Number 3. Wonder Woman. Strong, smart, and funny? The Wonder Woman film starring Gal Gadot has shown us just how powerful Wonder Woman is, not just as a superhero, but as an icon. When people think of female strength, Diana Prince is one of the first characters that comes to mind, whether or not you are a comic book geek. Why? Well, for good reason. Wonder Woman not only has an iconic look, but beyond that, she was one of the first female superheroes ever to be introduced in the comic book world. She grew out of her jobs, first as a nurse, then as a secretary, and eventually became a founding member of the Justice League, and their first female member. She is known for her wit, strength, lasso of truth, demigoddess status, and Amazonian heritage. And let's not forget that with Wonder Woman, we also potentially get an army of insanely strong Amazonian warriors. Number 2. Supergirl. Being related to one of the strongest superheroes grants you some pretty impressive strength. To prove that point, we have Supergirl soaring in on this list. Kara Zor-El is Superman's cousin who survived the destruction of Krypton, who shares an arch nemesis with her cousin, Lex Luthor. While on Earth, the relationship she builds with Superman becomes that of sort of a younger sister, and she goes by the name Linda. Although her story has been changed and rewritten a few times in DC's new 52 reboot. Regardless, the Supergirl we knew for years had abilities that echoed that of her cousin, making her one of the strongest female superheroes to grace the pages of any comic book. We're talking super speed, super strength, flight, invulnerability, and the famous heat vision. And while Superman and Batman have always been known for their famous friendship and bond, we will also now get to see this translate to Supergirl as well with the DCCW universe's introduction of Batwoman.
Number 7. Dark Supergirl. This version of Supergirl was created when Lex Luthor exposed Supergirl to black kryptonite. She was a duplicate of the original, but inverted morally, being more evil and dark than her original counterpart. She also appears to have a much shorter skirt. I guess shorter skirts are more evil than longer skirts? At least according to comic book artists and black kryptonite race. This version of Supergirl was able to handily take out most of the Justice League members, including the Flash. In the end, she was taken down by Wonder Woman and her lasso of truth. Wonder Woman had managed to bind Supergirl and Dark Supergirl together in an effort to find out who was who, as Dark Supergirl had managed to force Supergirl into swapping outfits with her. She did a really fast quick change. Being bound together by the magical lasso caused the two beings to merge once more and become one entity. However, Dark Supergirl's persona would continue to live on inside Kara Zor-El for some time, representing her darker half, which I also kind of love. I kind of love that she just has like a dark half, so there's like good Supergirl, slightly evil Supergirl, and they both kind of live within her. Number 6. Jenna and Madeline Pryor. These two were obviously alternates who took inspiration from Jean Grey and Madeline Pryor on Earth 616, but were more or less their own characters. Madeline, or Madeline, and Jenna both resided in Limbo, and Madeline was preparing her sister to inherit the powers of the Phoenix Sword, a blade that grants its user powers similar to that of the Phoenix Force from Earth 616. Madeline herself stole the blade from the Shadow King. These two are a couple of the raciest alternates I've ever come across. They are wearing metal bikinis, if you can call it that look like they got stuck onto them somehow. I don't know how they're staying on. I don't know. Magic. Art. Number 5. Mistress Mary. Even her name is hotter than the original. This version of Mary Marvel comes to us from JLA Classified. She is tough as nails, kicks Guy Gardner's butt, and has an amazingly badass costume to boot. This version of Mary keeps her hair back in an all-business ponytail, wears long dark gloves, a bodysuit complete with a lightning bolt window. In some panels it appears to be a sort of see-through plasticky yellow, and in others it's just a cutout shape in her costume. Her bodysuit attaches to fishnets or stockings, with one strap just sort of flapping free. And my favorite part, she wears a big pair of combat boots, all the better to kick butt with. Number 4. DCEU Mara. Probably one of the hottest versions of Mara in the entire DC universe, comes to us from the DCEU films. I personally don't think the Aquaman film would have been as successful without Mara in it. Amber Heard was the actress who played Mara in the film, and she did an amazing job looking and acting the part. Very well cast. Add in all the stunning costumes and outfits that we see Mara in, and it's easy to understand why her DCEU version is considered one of the hottest alternates around. Seriously, the sight of Amber Heard's Mara in that stunning jellyfish dress is enough to make anyone swoon. Pretty sure everyone watching that was just like, I'm weak in the knees. Do whatever she wants, please. She's just so pretty. And let's also not forget just how badass Mara was in the film. And how smart she was. She's the whole package, really, of hotness. Mara, of course, doesn't always play the role of the hero, but she has fought alongside Aquaman enough times that I think we can count her as one for the purpose of this list. Number 3, Rachel Roth. This version of Raven comes to us from the world of the DC bombshells. I love this world. It's just so stylized. If I were ever to do a Raven cosplay, I think this is the one I'd most want to do. Also, if I were to ever visit like an alternate world, I think I'd want to visit the DC bombshells. This version of Raven became the mind-controlled pet of Joker's daughter. She ended up being saved, however, by Zatanna and Mary Marvel. Her costume in this universe consists of devil's horns, a corseted bodysuit, long matching gloves, fishnet stockings, and an off-the-shoulder cape with its standard jeweled fastening. Overall, it's just an amazing look for Raven. I really, really like it. Number 2, She-Thor. This version of Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk comes to us from the famous pages of Sensational She-Hulk issue number 50, where Jennifer is looking for a new writer for her comic after her writer died. In truth, the famous comic book writer John Byrne was not dead, but was leaving the series. And Jennifer herself in the comic had him tied up in her office's closet. She was just tired of him writing for her, and she sought a new comic book writer. One of the pitches her character receives in the comic is the idea of a story where she herself is an alternate version of Thor. Goddess of lightning and wielder of Mjolnir, she is the sensational She-Hulk. This version of She-Hulk sports a cape, a winged headpiece, and a metal bikini. Gotta say, I'm a fan of this mashup. Jennifer would make a great Norse goddess. However, she didn't go for this one. She-Hulk wasn't too impressed with it. It's hard to impress She-Hulk. Number 1, Manga Marvel Girl. Okay, so the Mangaverse definitely has one of the most random and hottest versions of Jean Grey ever. Mostly because of the drawing style, though, I think. Honestly, the Mangaverse just gets all the hottest versions of female superheroes usually, and some of the male superheroes too. This version of Jean usually keeps her hair pulled back in a green scrunchie. She wears a green and gold super crop bikini style top, and arm warmers, and super shiny green pants. Alternatively, she can also be seen in a more classic but still anime version of her original costume. Short, green skirt, big, thigh-high yellow boots, and an off-the-shoulder shirt with a yellow-collared harness over top. Number 4, Nubia. Nubia is the alternate Wonder Woman from Earth 23, the same Earth as Calvin Ellis's Superman. There are a few different versions that are super hot when it comes to Wonder Woman, who herself is just a stunner, and Nubia is definitely one of them. Not only is she as noble and good as her main continuity counterpart, working with her Earth's Justice League, but her costume is also killer. I personally especially love how strong she looks and love her sporting her metallic armored costume, complete with a silver metal chest piece slash belt with built-in abs. Nothing says sexy like silver metal abs. Number 3, Red Cat. The Red Cat is sort of a hybrid of Black Widow and Felicia Hardy, or really more Nat and Black Cat's clothing and role, which gives us the Red Cat. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally think Natasha and Felicia are a couple of the hottest ladies in the Marvel Universe, so this one definitely had to make my cut. This reality-warped version comes to us from the short 4-part series Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality, and pits Peter Parker in the symbiote suit, Red Cat, and no longer Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, against the new Villainous Sorcerer Supreme, Hobgoblin. Number 2, Revenant Storm. There are so many hot alternate versions of Storm out there. Even her anti-self, her Mummudrai or Revenant version is sexy. This version of Storm was brought out in Uncanny X-Force Volume 2 after the Revenants, under leadership of their queen, Cassandra Nova, used a serum to revive the Mummudrai of the X-Force team members within them. Psylocke, Puck, and Storm within them. This version of Storm keeps her long white mane of hair but also sports horns on her headpiece. Her costume is similar to her original costume, but with lots of dangly fang accessories. She also has a body chain attached to part of her chest piece. I am such a sucker for darker takes on classic characters and body chains. Body chains are cool. Number 1, Power Girl. So, I'm not about to talk about Earth 2 Power Girl here because and that seems a little weird and wrong. Although many people think of Power Girl as an alternate version of Supergirl, she really is her own character. Now, of course, the continuity in DC can be very confusing because of all of the resets we've seen and had. But basically, just know that Earth 2, where Power Girl is from, is kind of like the home for the classic versions of superheroes, as established in 1961's Flash Volume 1, Issue 123, like Jay Garrick's Flash, Alan Scott's Green Lantern, old school Batman and Superman. So to call Power Girl an alternate doesn't really do her justice. Which is why I'm going to talk here about one of her own hottest alternates from the series, Justice League The Nail. Power Girl is one of the hottest characters in the comic book world, so of course, I could not leave her out of this list. This alternate version has a similar look to Power Girl when it comes to her costume and aesthetic, but with just a few little alterations making her costume a touch more racy. Now, I have always loved Power Girl's look because I feel like she is just so unashamed of her body, of what others think of the way that she dresses. That confidence that she exudes makes her one of the most sexy and attractive supers out there. Nothing looks sexier on a person than confidence. Number 10, Starwoman. This version of Stargirl is known as Starwoman and comes to us from Earth 33. Courtney Whitmore in this alternate universe is a magic user wielding a staff that allows her to channel the power of the stars. She was the apprentice of Starman and fought to avenge his death. This version of Courtney looks like a mashup of Black Cat and Stargirl somewhat. She has white hair, a black mask, and wears a black and red long sleeve crop top with stars on it, red gloves, and black shorts. Crop tops for the win! I'm a big fan of the crop top. Can't wait for summer so everyone can wear crop tops. Number 9, the most dangerous woman in all of Europe. Is there a time period that exists that does not look good on Natasha? In the 1602 universe, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, is known as the most dangerous woman in all of Europe and is a freelance spy, not loyal to any particular country. She ends up aligned with Dr. Doom's alternate, Count Otto von Doom, in the 1602 alternate universe of Earth 311, which also ends up resulting in her death when she questions orders given to her and Doom's plan. Number 8, Vampy. If you are a fan of Vampirella and also a fan of futuristic, potentially cyberpunk looks, then I have a hot alternate for you. Anarchy Studios published a comic series in the early 2000s introducing an alternate version of Vampirella from the future. The series was named after Vampirella's nickname, Vampy. This Vampy sought to cure her vampirism and ran around in a zipped up red leotard, thigh highs with a holster slash garter attached to keep them up, and red boots or futuristic kind of looking sneakers on her feet. She also had a gold chain style choker and arm bracelets, and red gauntlets. This was a pretty epic look for Vampy, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love it. I also love the sometimes futuristic sneakers that she wore. I need a pair of those. She still sported her signature golden bat symbol as well in this version, which I think is the symbol of Draculon? Pretty sure.
Number 1, Scarlet Witch. Of course, I couldn't make a most powerful list without putting Scarlet Witch at the top of it. You just can't deny the sheer awesome power that is Scarlet Witch. I mean, when you can alter reality, anything is possible. Scarlet Witch, who has since been retconned, was once known in the comics as Magneto's daughter, making her almost mutant royalty. But regardless of her ever-changing backstory, she stands alone without any needed context as one of the strongest superheroes of all time, regardless of gender. Being skilled in the arcane arts, her ability to manipulate chaos magic makes her almost unstoppable when she wants to be. In fact, her abilities to warp reality are considered to be so strong that it's hard for us to even know if any of her other powers actually exist, or if she is simply warping reality to make them appear to exist. With Wanda, aka Scarlet Witch, almost everything that happens in the comics could be questionable as to whether or not they happen because she wills it, or they just actually are events that are happening. This is, after all, the woman who willed the Phoenix Force out of existence.